Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. As you can tell by the title of this video, this is going to be a pack and prep with me for our next Japan trip. This is going to be our third time going to Japan, and I feel like at this point I should be an expert in packing, but there are still so many times where I'm like, what do I bring? I had a little bit of an overwhelm earlier because I'm like, I just feel like there's so many different things to choose from, so many clothes that I love. What am I going to wear? What's the weather going to be like? It's also really hard to go from Michigan, where we have had like a high of 30 to 35, to then go somewhere where it's 65. So I thought it would be fun to kind of take you along, kick off the Year 3 Japan series with a little pack with me video. This one is going to be very specific to how I pack because I can be a little bit type A about it. There's a lot of planning involved. I'm not somebody that just throws clothes into my bag and figures out if it's going to work or not. I definitely think with my body type and just how I am as a person, there's a lot more planning involved because there's got to be other people out there that pack similar to me or that maybe need a little bit of help with a solution to how to tackle things like this. So something that is important to note, obviously I always travel with camera gear. I always travel with content creation things. So I have like a tripod, I have my pocket, my cameras, things like that. This year, like we did last year, we're doing another photo walk. Actually, we're doing 2 this year, which means that there was some recommendations for what kind of camera lenses to bring. As you guys know, I do photography full time, so I do have a lot of camera gear, and so I had to really narrow down what I was bringing because this is my personal item, and then we are packing everything in a carry-on size luggage. So I am gonna point the camera on this and kind of walk you through what everything is that I'm bringing and how I decide for long flights and content creation and YouTube and everything, what even goes in this bag. So let's get into it. So this is the bag that I usually bring on all of my trips, and I have for the past few years. This is the Peak Design 30 liter, and it can maximize, I think, to 35 liter. I love this bag so much. It fits under the chair in front of you if you needed to, and it does have an easy back access. And then what I love too is it has this spot here where you can easily hide the straps, which is so nice when you want to put it under your seat in front of you, or if you want to put it in the overhead compartment. I just love this feature so much, and they just stow away. When I open up the luggage, there is a medium camera cube in here, and then there's a couple things over here. So let me show you what's over here first. I have an eye mask, which I always bring. This one's from Amazon, and Brody and I really like these because you can blink in them, which you wouldn't think would be such an important thing to be able to do, but sometimes when there's noise, you just wake up, you're kind of looking around. This helps you not feel like you're being forced to keep your eyes closed, but it can still be fully dark, but you still have the option to blink, which is nice. I always bring my Kindle. I got this case on Etsy and I love it so much. I always make sure to download a bunch of books so that I have something to read while I'm in the plane. This is my bag that I got at Harrods in London last year. Every single time I fly, I have an airplane bag. So basically this has like earplugs, headphones, Dramamine, gum, hand sanitizer, eye masks, anything that I could possibly need in the airplane. And then I have a hairbrush. I also have my wallet, which I feel like is just the best place to put it in here. And then this bag right here is actually my makeup bag. And I have half of my makeup in here and then half in my carry-on luggage, but sometimes it's nice to be able to like freshen up when you're in the airplane, so I always want to make sure that I have it with me. And then going into the medium camera cube, this camera cube was specifically designed by Peak Design, so it really fits nicely in here. You can see I have a lot of camera gear. So I have the Fujifilm X100 VI, a little jewelry case that has a couple necklaces in here. This has batteries and more SD cards in it. And then I have my Great Wave reusable bag. I love this bag so much. I don't know how people just don't have reusable bags. Honestly, this one has come in handy so many times. I use it anytime I travel. I then have my Sony a7 IV in here. This is the camera that I will be using mostly, and I will be using it mostly with my 35mm 1.4 GM. And then the other lens that I brought is my 24-70 2.8 GM lens, which I will be using for one of our photography courses. I also have a Peak Design camera strap in here. This is the light version, and then Brody has the thicker version. I have 2 film rolls in here in case I want to take some film photos. And then this is my Yachita film camera. This is actually my very first camera that I ever used to take any photos on. I was given this by my Opa and I love it. So this is the T4. I would love to try to find another lens or another film camera in Japan. Over here I have an ND filter for my 35mm lens, and in this compartment over here I have a claw clip, just a mini one. I have my battery charger for my Sony, the cord that goes for the Sony as well, and then this can also charge my Kindle. So it's things like this that I think are really important to keep in mind when you're packing, is multifunctional cords. I then have a little dongle here for reading my SD card. This can plug into my phone, which I think will be super convenient. And then I am going to be bringing my Meta glasses as well. Something else that is in here are all of my pocket accessories for my DJI pocket. So I have this little gimbal. I have a tripod attachment for my phone specifically, and then a mini tripod that I can use with that one or with the one for my pocket. And then I have a battery bank for my DJI pocket as well. Pretty much everything that's in my personal bag. I feel like something that was a little bit more difficult for packing clothing wise this trip around was that we only have one hotel where we can do laundry. Last year when we stayed in Japan, we had a hotel where we could do laundry pretty much the whole time. We had 2 hotels. So this year we have to be a little bit more strategic to have enough clothes for when we don't have any option to do laundry. Typically hotels have laundry rooms, but it's just a little bit inconvenient to have to figure all of that out. So let me show you guys everything that we packed for clothing. I leave for Japan in less than 24 hours, so let's do some packing. I'm actually not a last minute packer at all, but I am bringing some of my favorite clothes at the moment, so I couldn't pack until the last minute because I needed to wash some of them. But we are packing for 12 days in a carry-on, and here's everything that I'm bringing. 4 pairs of pants, a light blue and black cardigan, an oversized cream sweater, a brown long sleeve, a gray and 4 white short sleeves, PJs, a shower cap, a rain jacket, my Roxy puffer, this jacket, and a short trench, some accessories, and I'll be wearing my sneakers. If you want to see some of my Pinterest outfit inspo, I'll share some of the photos at the end of this video. I am a huge believer in creating a capsule wardrobe when you're traveling because it does make getting dressed so much easier. I can wear any of my jackets with any of my pants. My recipe for tops is usually a t-shirt, a cardigan, and a bag. Depending on how warm it is, I can just wear a t-shirt and a jacket, or a cardigan, a t-shirt, and a jacket, or just a cardigan and a jacket, or just a cardigan. There's so many different ways that you can make a capsule wardrobe work for you when you're traveling. To keep it simple, I bring 1 pair of sneakers and I just rotate my outerwear.